All right, welcome to the channel. I want to thank you for tuning in on today. And guys, I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. All right, so I have a lot to share. If you haven't seen my other shares or recent shares, please go back and tune into those and get the information that I shared. It's very, very important. And for those of you who did videos, there have been some people, I know they listen to this channel. I know they listen to this channel, even though it's just a few views that they're allowing you guys to see, because as I said, this channel is shadow banned, and one of the things they do is manipulate the numbers. But for those who have done shares trying to discredit the U.S. Embassy's warning concerning crime in Ghana, I'll be back to prove those who don't want to admit the truth about what's going on in the country. And I'm talking about our own African diaspora who don't want to admit the truth. I'll be back with some more evidence, strong evidence, okay, to show that this is no joke. We need to warn people. No one's saying not to come to Ghana, at least not now, or at least not in that share, but we're saying be aware of the circumstances when you arrive. Now, this is going to stop, hopefully, some of y'all from putting your money into Ghana, okay? This is not anti-Ghana. This is just the truth, straight up. Effective soon, okay? It is part of it is already in effect, but it has been announced that basically Ghana is going to ban the U.S. dollar. Okay, if you bring U.S. dollars into Ghana, you cannot get U.S. dollars out of the account. And I'm going to show you this information clear, and you can make your decisions from there. I will say to those of us who are already here, get your house in order, honey. Get your house in order. Never put yourself in a situation where a country can just flip on you and you are left to try to figure out what you are going to do. All right. So what I want to show you, give me just a minute. I'm going to pause this and I'll be right back. All right. I hope y'all are still with me. All right. So let's see what this says. Dollar withdrawals over the counter suspended. Did you see that? They are suspending the use of U.S. dollars. Okay, so Isaac Odongo reveals. Isaac Odongo, a board member of the Bank of Ghana, has revealed intentions to tighten regulations on over-the-counter withdrawals of U.S. dollars from financial institutions in an effort to slow the depreciation of the CEDI. So now if you are aware of what's going on in Ghana and you're here, you notice that the CEDI has appeared to gain strength in the last 2 weeks. It's being manipulated. I have to just say the truth. It's being manipulated. And that's just, you know, my honest opinion, along with now a lot of Ghanaians are saying it, a lot of economists are saying it. Although Ghana made Bloomberg last week, right, as the fastest growing currency, it's been said now by even their own economists and people in the country. And anybody who knows basic, Squawk Box, you can watch Squawk Box and learn that this is being manipulated, okay? But let's get to this subject, all right? So what has happened here has happened. If you're not familiar with who the Bank of Ghana is, they're basically the equivalent of the Treasury, the U.S. Treasury, and the Federal Reserve. Now, we know the U.S. Federal Reserve is a private company. It just uses the name federal, and it works hand in hand with the government, okay? And so this is what Bank of Ghana does, and they basically regulate the currency and the economy, all right? And so let's see what he says here. He says, although there are now some dollar withdrawals that can be justified under current restrictions, the central bank will shortly impose an almost complete ban with few exceptions. A complete ban on the dollar with some few exceptions. In an interview with Joy News, the Bogotonga Central MP explained, if you put your dollar in the bank account, it's okay. We are happy with that. You can only get dollars if indeed you are going to use them for dollar denominated transactions. Did you hear that? This man said you can put your dollars in. So in Ghana, what they have are dollar accounts, and then they have CEDI accounts. And so you have the option of having both. All right. So if you have a dollar account and you want to put dollars in a dollar account, guess what? They're not going to give you dollars. They're going to give you CEDIs. And so this recent apparent strengthening of the CEDI has weakened, makes the dollar looks like it's weakened. But when you compare the dollar and other markets, the rate of depreciation in Ghana is not natural. Okay, I'm going to move on from that. Maybe discuss that another time. I'm not a financial expert in that area, but I do know how to count, and I do know a little bit, okay, to say that enough to say that this is wrong and to understand why it's wrong, okay, and why it's not natural and why it's being manipulated and how it's being manipulated. All right, so the central bank's role includes regulating the use of our legal tender when you request dollars. We'll provide CDs instead. A report by myjoyonline.com quoted him as saying, in light of the CD's recent designation as the best performing currency in the world, okay, Adongo expressed optimism that the measure will have a favorable effect on exchange rates. Now, I am laughing because there has been no notable growth. There's no new industry that has come in. They will mention that in the end here. Finally, they've come out with something saying, oh, we partner with some of the gold companies here. These gold companies have been here. They're kicking out foreign countries, but the foreign countries can go and operate, but they have to go through a certain country. So they have a middleman now that they have to work with, basically. So no new corporations, no new investments in the country, no new anything to justify this growth. Nothing grows unless there is something planted, some change has taken place, and we don't see anything that has been watering Ghana's economy to cause this kind of growth. All right, this ain't against Ghana, this is just the truth straight up. All right, so you'll see the results reflected in the dollar rate. He emphasized, we're eliminating dollar speculation through bank accounts. Deposited dollars will only be released for legitimate foreign transactions. Dollars are meant for spending abroad, not domestically. So what's going to happen is, a lot of rental places that are asking for dollars. Now people are going to tell them that, they can only ask for CDs, right? But those places are going to tell you, well, they found someplace else. That's how they do now. If you tell them that you want 6 months, and if you don't know how to get that 6 months, they'll force you into a year or 2 years. But that's another time, a story for another time, okay? And methods for doing that at another time. All right, so the CD was steady between February and April 2025 at about 15.50 Ghana to the US dollar before gaining a lot of strength to reach 12.45 early May. In less than 2 weeks, it dropped from 15.50 to 12.45. That doesn't even make sense. If you have ever just learned just basic economics, guys, this is not natural. It's not a natural growth. It's not. All right. So in early May, which was its strongest position in a year, Data Bank Research Analysis said the gold bond's recent partnership with 9 mining companies is partially responsible for this performance. Payments are made in CDs instead of dollars, and 20% of their monthly expected gold production, 200K, is secured for domestic purchase before to export. Sounds good, right? But it doesn't justify the growth. It doesn't explain this level of growth. It doesn't. Okay. So, if you know anything about economics, you know that it doesn't. All right. And if you don't, tune into those who do, because they're talking online. All right. And they will explain what's going on. But the most important thing here, guys, many of you are bringing in dollars. In fact, and all of us from the West are bringing in dollars, but not cash. I don't carry cash. I never carry cash. Right. But any transfers you make through mobile money, guess what? All right. If the person is demanding dollars, the Forex bureaus, if you're going there, they're not going to be able to store the dollars because the Bank of Ghana is going to ban it, except it can only be taken out. All right, guys, so I don't know what happened here, but something cut me off there, but let me continue. What I'm saying is that if you are going to somewhere and you need to get dollars out, all right, if you have been sending money over and you need to use dollars, okay, if you're traveling out of the country and you need to take dollars out, if you're bringing money in and you're bringing dollars, know that you can only put that in dollars, but pull it out in CDs, but the CD is going to start to depreciate again. So what happens is the dollar that you put in that bank account, it's going to depreciate in value fast. Because this little rebound, it's not natural. It's not a real rebound. All right. And so once they put this into effect, this law into effect, any dollars that you put into the country, it's going to be subject to you only being able to pull out CDs. And the CD is just not stable enough now to maintain the value, and you're going to lose value on your money. In addition, the cost of doing business, the cost of building, the cost of supplies, everything is increasing drastically. So I'm just putting this out here. I have share this with you. I'll be back with other things. And like I said, I'm going to bring some more receipts to prove the previous video that I did, because it's just a shame that some of you will just get online and just say anything just to continue to generate your income. Let me just say that, just to continue to generate your income. Even if you're just making income from doing YouTube videos and promoting Ghana, we're not against Ghana, but tell the truth, okay? Because things that happen to people, their blood on your hand, misfortunes, marital relationships that's just falling apart because you sold them a fantasy, okay? You sold them a dream that wasn't real. All right, yes, people need to do their due diligence, but a lot of people are counting on you to present the truth, okay? And when you have a lot of people just sitting silently and not saying anything, then people tend to believe, oh, it must be true. Some of you, I'm going to be talking about this too, I don't want to get into so many things, but some of you, your houses are going to be torn down because you're built in the wrong place. Your builder's not building the code, and the new minister of the lands commission has already said some of the things that he's going to be doing, and they're already doing it. So guys, you're being poorly advised. You need to educate yourself. You have a responsibility in this too, and to make sure that you know that you are doing the right thing and following the laws of Ghana. All right, so thank you for tuning in, and shalom.